our 35th year as an organization. And what we do is we try to create a safe space where everyone's able to participate fully in life, and it's a space for the LGBTQ youth that's free of sex, drugs, alcohol. We don't allow weapons or violence, and we don't want to create any pressure or harassment. And all of this is just kind of the magic of the youth getting there and having a good time and just being kids. Because so much pressure is put on them in the society that they can't just feel free and comfortable. And when we get them together, and we don't let adults come in, it's a youth-driven organization. So the youth kind of police themselves, if I want to even use that term. But they're, you have the older youth helping the younger youth, and it's a really magical formula. And we develop leadership skills, and we try to show them the best way to live and how to identify issues and then how to deal with those issues so that they can learn to advocate for themselves. And that's really what DAG is about.
So I mean, Christine, you are an author, you're a CPA, you're a director of Bagley, you're a parent, you're a daughter. I want to go to the author part. Tell me about the inspiration for my first Red Sox game.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, gosh. The inspiration, it was born out of pain and prejudice. I'm dealing with judges in a court environment that treats transgender people very poorly. I'm here in Massachusetts, which is one of the most pro-transgender states in the country, so I can really feel for other people in other states that don't have the laws to protect them. Yet if the laws are not enforced, the judges do not have to enforce them. And in a family court environment, because it's a court of equity, not a court of justice, they don't have to follow any laws if they don't want to. They can just make whatever decision they want, and there's no recompense that anyone can follow. So what I did is I felt that the best way for me to deal with these obtuse, dim-witted, family court judges here in Massachusetts is not to go play their game in a court of law, but to become as public as I can, to be an advocate for transgender rights, to explain what's happened here in this court. And for the last 18 months, I've been denied visitation with my child, and only because I'm transgender and supported by these judges. And to me, I can't, in my wildest imagination, I can't understand how a judge can go about participate in parental alienation syndrome, which by itself is child abuse, as recognized by the medical profession today. And I thought if I could write just a spectacular book to show my daughters, what I can do and who I am, and to just express the uniqueness that I am as a person, and understanding how much I love baseball and how much they love baseball. So I wrote a book that I think is second to none, and I've been in touch with the Red Sox, and they're happy with the book, and I'm getting licensed with Major League Baseball. But it was born out of the problems that happen when a parent can't see their child, and it's no different than being kidnapped. And my daughter lives within 1.5 miles of where my business is, and yet I'm not allowed to see her. And if I do, I'm afraid I'd be arrested. So I can't even approach her in any kind of way, because as an alienated child, she's been taught to hate me. And this is supported by judges. I'm just beside myself. So this was my inspiration to keep writing and to write the best book I could.
Understood. Christine, I mean, it's a really remarkable story that you have. I do have one question about the media is caught up with anytime there's a sighting of Bruce Jenner, and there's going to be an interview with Diane, I believe Diane Sawyer.
I heard about it a little bit tonight. I caught like 30-second soundbite about him. But go ahead, about her. I'm not even sure it's him or her, because he hasn't said it yet to himself. So
right, he hasn't said it. What are your thoughts? No, my question is, what are your thoughts when something like this is, I guess for the transgender community, is Bruce Jenner a spokesperson, or what's your take?
Well, Bruce is not a spokesperson yet. She could be, and I'm going to start saying she because I think that's really the gender that she is. She could be. It's really up to her if she wants to be. And everyone's a little different. I think because of her achievements, I think it would be helpful if she did and was. And I think, this week, apparently, she's going to talk about it.
Right.
And that will help other people, because the more it gets talked about, the more, I think, acceptance that there will be, and as more people like Bruce and myself come out and talk about our lives and how my life has been tortured most of my life because of my gender identity that I couldn't accept, and then when I accepted it, everyone else went running out the door. But I think she'll step up to the plate, so to speak. She'll dive in the pool and she'll come out a winner.
That's good. That's good. So you mentioned, I mean, at the onset, you were alienated with your family. Are you at least on speaking terms with your family now, or is it has it progressed?
I have not spoken to my family in 5 years. I spoke to my mother about a year and a half to 2 years ago, and that's the last time I've spoken to them. And that's their choice, not mine. I mean, I've tried to reach out, but they just don't want to talk to me. They don't want me to do. They've told me they've disinvited me to Christmas parties, birthday parties, vacations. I mean, they've just told me to stay away. Weddings. Don't even come here. I was kicked out of a wake. I went to see my cousin who passed away, and I was told to leave the wake. It's just terrible.
Totally terrible. Christine, so before we close, if a young person is in that type of situation where they're being disowned by their family, I mean, give us, let's just say, you had that elevator discussion with them. Let's just say you hopped on a virtual elevator with them. What would you say to them to pick up their spirits or to give them, just some words of wisdom?
Understand that this too shall change. As bad as you feel now, just think of a moment when you felt good. And also reach out for help. And even if a parent or someone else isn't doing it, reach out for help with somebody that knows. There's any number of telephone lines for suicide people, and you don't have to want to commit suicide to call them. Call them to say, who can I talk to? I just need to talk to someone before you reach the point of suicide or thinking about it. And in that respect, 80% of us, and I've seen the statistic, 80% or more of us people, transgender people, think of suicide. 41% actually attempt it. In relation to the rest of society, 1% or less attempted. So there's something horribly wrong with society when the transgender population, 41% are trying to kill themselves because of the way they're treated by the rest of society. And the racial component that's here is just so stark and in your face. The scientific racism that existed back in the Holocaust and apartheid and the slavery of the South, it's just in your face, recognized here when people do this to a transgender person. It's no different.
Christine, I want to thank you so much for sharing your words and sharing your experiences. We want to give you a one-time round of applause. I do want to also ask you. I do want to ask you one other question. It's an Earth Day related question. Tell me today, with today being Earth Day, what did you do? Tell me one thing that you would do to make the environment that much better.
Well, what I try to do is recycle my all of my bottles of my paper. I do it here, both here in the office as well as at my house. I try to use public transportation when possible. And as far as my health products, I always use pump hair spray and not aerosol, and I've been doing that for 10 to 15 years anyway, even before I had the big hair.
Got you.
But I would like to say one thing here, and if I could just finish with a haiku here. This is a haiku that this is my delivery, my pitch to the judges. No pitcher washed up. He can't pitch to save his life. Knuckleball, strike, out. Now that's me throwing a pitch and striking out the judges. But when you were cheering, I thought they were at the baseball game listening to the pitcher strike out a batter. So. But thank you so much for having me come on and share. This is a real privilege and an honor, and I appreciate it very much to be able to have the opportunity to talk about this particular need and giving me the opportunity to do that, Mr. Hicks, and I do hope that the people have learned something from the time that we've spent talking.
Oh, I'm sure we all have, and I want to say definitely our virtual doors are always open to you. So whenever you want to come on to the show, you're more than welcome to come on to the show. But as we close, I want to say, what is the best way of getting in contact with you? Or if I'm a youth, a transgender youth, or a youth that's contemplating, suicide, or what are the best mechanisms to get in contact with any of your organizations or the folks that you're affiliated with?
Well, the best organizations out there, there's one called a Trans Lifeline, and I just read about how that was started, and it was a very interesting thing, and it's not completely funded, but that phone number is 877-565-8860, and there's another one called the Trevor Project Hotline, which is 866-488-7386, and either one of those, as well as the National Suicide Prevention Line, 800-273-8255, would be able to direct a person, even if they're not contemplating suicide, because it's better to call before you get to that point and ask for a supporting organization, and they can give you that. And then call the supporting organization and go meet some people and get involved with a new group of friends that respect you and love you.
Christine, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this will not be the last time that you come on this show. I'll tell you that much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Christine Connelly, thanks again.
Okay, thank you.
That was Christine Connelly. Really enriching discussion. Really so glad that she was able to join us. Just real quickly, we have Chris Whalen, who's scheduled to join us at 30 minutes past the hour. Want to take a quick break, and we'll be back in about, I'm going to say 30 seconds. Okay, and we're back. This is Late Night Parent Radio. This is Ted Hicks. Had a really compelling second hour. We started off with Christine Connelly, and we were talking about Christine Connelly is a transgender parent and daughter. She provided us with tips for people that have transgender loved ones. Really great story. I had a really great time talking with her. Chris Whalen is scheduled to come on in the next 90 seconds. Want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to our friends at the WWE Network. Want to say thank you to the communications department. We're looking forward to attending Monday Night Raw in Uniondale, New York, Memorial Day. My family and I really excited about it, and we thank the WWE. We want to thank our friends Power Hands. Chris, I see you in the queue. Don't worry. You're coming on in about 45 seconds. We want to thank